Hello. I've got to make sure I am on. Yes, I am on Wi-Fi. Hi everyone, I am Rebecca from ChemKnits and welcome to the unboxing of the KnitCrate April 2020 KnitCrate and likely SockCrate too. I don't always receive SockCrate, so we'll see if that's what's in the other package, but they do feel different. You might notice one difference right off the bat in that we've got these beautiful teal mailers rather than the iconic KnitCrate boxes that I like to turn into bricks for my kids. And I think that it is because it is easier for them to package up the mailers with a more limited crew in the warehouse. And so I think this month and maybe next month, they're going to be using mailers instead of boxes. But we'll talk about all that in a little bit. So first of all, I should say that I am a KnitCrate affiliate. They do send me their membership and things for free to unbox and share with all of you. And I do have an affiliate link, which means that if you sign up through my link or use my code, ChemKnits20, if you use either of those, I do earn a commission. Now you can use the code ChemKnits20 to save 20% off your first month of KnitCrate or SockCrate. And so that is pretty awesome. Now, today is going to be a little different from my other KnitCrate unboxings. I'm going to unbox the KnitCrates and then I'm going to talk a little bit about next month's KnitCrate. Normally, I do my best to avoid spoilers, but well, I have a big spoiler for next month, but I'll save that for the end so that way if people don't want to hear about May, they can stop watching. But yeah, I think, is the stream going okay? Hopefully it is. Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, Indy, he just had dinner and he's walking by and yes, Indy Puppy is saying hello. Hello, everyone. All right, let's unbox the one that I think is the KnitCrate. But first, let's talk about the theme. So, Christine, thank you so much for the super chat. Indy, move. Thank you. I love that little dancing fox. It's so cute. Thank you so much. Good. Thank you. It's looking a little like weird on my phone. Okay, Indy, I love you, but I need you to lay down. Can you back up? Lay down. Thank you. He's like, pet me, mommy. All right, so this is last month's Inspirations magazine. And on the back, we had the sneak peek for this month. And the theme is luminous. And these are me colors, if there ever are me colors, like those purples and that rust. I guess rust isn't as much me, but I was drawn to a rust in my own dye-along this month. So I'm excited to see what we got. Now, the KnitCrate membership subscription is $24.99 a month. And in it, you get a knitting pattern and crochet pattern to use with the yarn that comes in the package. And you get at least one skein, usually there's two, of yarn and occasionally fun extras and things like that. And I'm very carefully cutting this open. And I totally lost my train of thought. Ooh, let me show you guys the peek. Hey, okay, I did not know which one was in here. So when it comes to colors, each month there are 3 different color options. You can get, you can pick your color vibe. There's 3, or actually 4 choices you can do. You can choose to get, and wow, I am blanking. You can choose to get Energize Me, which is the warm tones, Chill Out, which is the cool tones. There is a neutral vibe as well, or you can do anything goes. And as an influencer, I get anything goes. So each month it is a surprise. And so this is a very, very sparkly berry color. I'll pull out everything up yet, but this is Uru Yarn Sugared Sport. This is 70% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 10% stellina. It is jam-packed with stellina. It is sport weight, 300 yards per 100 grams. And it's machine wash gentle, lay flat to dry. This color is gorgeous. Let's see what else is in our little package this month. All right, so we've got, we've got, as our fun extra this month, we've got a thing of soak. It's scentless. Love that. Love scentless. And so that is actually a really, really handy little extra. So we've got a little postcard, so I've been unboxing KnitCrate for about 2 years, a little over 2 years. When I started, there were little postcards in here. And I believe that there might be a bit of an explanation about why it's a postcard instead of the magazine in a moment. So here is what it says. Hello, friends. We're doing things a little differently this month in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. Because the situation is changing on a daily basis, with businesses temporarily closing or running at a reduced operating hours, we weren't confident we could count on getting the booklet printed for your April 2020 crate, which is more difficult to produce than a postcard like this. So this month, we are including your Inspirations booklet as a digital-only download. Please use the link below, so I'm not going to show you the back, to download the booklet from our website. Once on our website, you'll also find a link to add the booklet to your Ravelry library. All of us at KnitCrate hope that you and your family are staying safe in the midst of these uncertain times. And so that is, and so that is sort of what I was expecting. And this might happen for who knows how long. There's a lot of uncertainty going on. And it's nice that they are trying to put something together that works really, really well. Now, there is also on here a coupon code for soak. So you can order more of it if you'd like, which is really nice. Now, what I don't have in here, and so I avoid spoilers, but even though I avoid spoilers, I did go ahead and pull up the reveal for this. So that way I could take a look at the patterns that come in it, because I knew from conversations with KnitCrate that it was going to be a postcard rather than the Inspirations magazine this month. And well, I'll talk all about my talks in a little bit. So let's see if, okay. So it looks like for the KnitCrate membership, there are 3 colorways this month. There is this Energize Me Berry, which actually the colors from the iPad coming up on here are really good. There is a very Rebecca purple in there. And the neutral one looks a little bit champagne. So the Energize is ruby, the Chill Out is lapis, and the All Natural is diamond. And that is so pretty. Now, the patterns this month are the Mic Drop Top, which is a bit of a drop stitch with a cable loose knit sort of tunic almost. And then for crochet, it's the Net Result Top, which is right there. And so those are both really cute. But I did go and look up, I didn't look up both, but I pulled up the Mic Drop Top on Ravelry. And so, because I was curious about the yardage, and I was concerned about the yardage, because in general with KnitCrate, you have enough yarn to make either the knit or crochet project. But when it's something like a sweater, that becomes a lot harder. And so according to the Mic Drop pattern page on Ravelry, the top uses between 450 and 750 yards, sorry. And each of these skeins has 300 yards. So you have 600 yards, which gives you about like the lower half of the range can make the top. And if you are larger, then you would need to buy more yarn. So I'm trying to see what the size is. So the pattern does go all the way up to a 56 to 60 inch bust size. I actually don't know what my sweater measurements would be, but so that is just something to keep in mind. Oh, the Net Result Top is in here as well. So that one uses between 480 and 690 yards, and the fit size is between 46 and 60 inch bust. And so, yeah, so it's not, I think it would be hard to do a sweater pattern and have it be size inclusive, but I wish that were like, but I understand also people have been wanting patterns besides like cowls and hats. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. I've given thoughts and called, I think there's only ever been one other sweater pattern. And so I don't know. I mean, you can, if you're a KnitCrate member, I think you now get 50% off Member Central. So you will have an opportunity before the general public to buy more of the yarn at a discount price. So that is an option. And I think, I don't know much about, I don't get access to the Member Central shop because I'm not technically a subscriber. I'm not technically a member. So I don't get to see, but there's also like other double down deals towards the end of the month, which get you more discounts. So that is an option. But yeah, I'd be interested to hear what you think. I do think that these little sweaters are cute, but I'd have to, it's something to keep in mind. Now, this yarn is stunning. And you obviously don't have to use the patterns that come with your crate. So that is awesome. This almost reminds me, of Silvery Sock because it feels so jam-packed with the stellina. The KnitCrate Silvery Sock is jam-packed with stellina, but that's a fingering weight, and this is sport weight. And so I'd like a bare version of this guy. But yeah. So those are my thoughts. Because I love KnitCrate, but I'm always gonna be real. Let's check out the SockCrate. Oh, I know. I mean, there's no way that they could include enough yarn for size inclusivity. So then it begs the question, should they include patterns that can be size inclusive and avoid patterns where they can't be inclusive? Because like, I know that there's weight limits, and like, I think that they need to try to keep things under a pound to make it so that way they can ship things out. Like, I know from my experience shipping things that rates go way up once you get above a pound. And so that's why like the crates don't randomly show up with like 400 grams of yarn and things like that. Are the colors always solids? No. And it's hard to tell if this is a true, I guess from the patterns, it looked like a true solid. There could be, it's really hard for me to tell with the lighting if it's solid or if there's some semi to it with the stellina in there. It is, well, certainly if it's not 100% solid, it's a semi-solid because it is like, there's very little tonal variation that I see, but there's a variety between speckled, really, really variegated. One time we got in January, there were 2 different colorways, which I was really excited about. So it really does mix it up. Could you dye a softer pink to go with it? Yes, if I had the yarn base. I'm not sure if this one is available. I'd have to go check to see if this is available as a bare base. So I am not sure. But yes, you could, otherwise, like you could dye, like if you had the, if you got the diamond colorway, then you could over dye that a softer pink. And so actually all the colors do go well together. So even if the one color is sold out, if you needed more, you could get another one and then make a fade, which would be really pretty. But I wanted to see what else. Yeah, I just know that when I'm checking the language. So okay, I guess it doesn't necessarily say that there's enough. It doesn't, I don't think it says anymore that there's enough yarn to do either of the patterns. So yeah, if that language was still there, because I think sometimes the problem with not seeing spoilers is that it's easy to miss changes. And so it's possible, like if it's not saying that there's enough yarn to do one of the patterns included with it, then I'm okay with it. Because there is enough yarn in there for like half the people, but I don't know. Ooh, okay. This is the thing with the bag. Okay. This color is, it's like a mustardy color. So when we were looking at the color vibe, I was like, oh, there's that sort of rust. And this is interesting. So this is the Vitellana Heathered Sock by KnitCrate. It's 40% merino, 40% Peruvian Highland wool, 20% nylon. And this is actually a yarn base that I've dyed. And I actually really like it in this color. I mean, this isn't necessarily a color I would ever go for as like a first choice, but I actually don't mind it. It looks really good with my sweater, actually. But I'll pull up what the other colorways are in a moment. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, and something fell on my lap. So we've got our postcard. And I'm excited to get the SockCrate because I don't always get the SockCrate. And our fun extra. Huh, this is cool. Is it like a, that almost feels like felt. Well, that's cute. It's like a little, is it like a glasses case? I'm not sure, but could be like a short little like notions case. I am going to see if it mentions anything about this. Oh wait, does the, nope, it's still the soak coupon on there. Sometimes in the magazine it would say about the fun extra. So let's see, the full reveal. Okay, so the SockCrate, let me pull this up. Ooh. So here are the 3 colors for SockCrate. We're in Marl mode. So this is Honeybee. It's the wait. Okay, yes. So the Energize Me is Honeybee, which is this yellow. The Chill Out is Wisteria. Huh? And the All Natural is Toffee. Now I'm confused. Okay, so this is Honeybee. So then I'm not sure which one is Toffee. I guess Toffee is maybe the red. Oh yes, the Toffee is the red. This True Red dances with the counterparts. Okay, and so the sock patterns are, this is by Drew Ariana of Mr. Knitwear. It's crisscross socks. And these are really cute. I don't know if the details will come through because I'm trying to show a phone and iPad, but they have some really pretty cables. And the stitch pattern shows up really nicely with the marled sock. And so that's cool. And the crochet pattern is called Hearth Socks by Louise Belair of De Chertsey. It's a simple and smooth sailing crochet stitches. So the SockCrate does come with both knitting and crochet patterns, which is really awesome. So SockCrate is $19.95 a month. You always get some sock yarn and a knitting and crochet sock patterns. And I don't know if it's going to say anything about the case, but I mean, I'm kind of a sucker for little zippered pouches. And so I know for sure that I will be using this probably for like stitch markers and stuff. But yeah, the SockCrate is fun if you know you love socks, or if you're a shawl knitter or something and maybe you don't care about the patterns, but you like fingering and sport weight, then this is the one for you. The fiber content does vary from month to month for both of them. And so in KnitCrate, you can get anything. I don't think there's been lace, but there's been like bulky through fingering for sure. Maybe there's been lace once. And then SockCrate, it's usually fingering with the occasional sport for like a faster or like a bigger gauge kind of sock. But it's all a lot of fun. And yeah, I enjoy unboxing it. It's fun to see the colors. It's fun to be surprised. I think that if I were to pick the colors each month, I'd always get purple, like purple and teal. But for both of these, like the purple might have been my first choice. But the nice thing is that they do reveal the colorways ahead of time. So if you, I think around the 20th of the month, they reveal the colorways for the next month. So then you can go and swap your color vibe. So if you've got to get that purple, then you could go and change which one you're going to get. And so that's something they implemented, I think, last summer, which I think has been really, really great, because then you don't end up with a colorway you don't like. But I know for me, I kind of like being pushed outside my color comfort zone. And so it's fun if in the past when I was spoiled of what the colors are, to be surprised over which one came. And so I sort of enjoy that. So really that's up to you. They've moved the preview down to the 15th of the month. Okay, yeah. So I know that the main one is out already. But I typically try to avoid the previews, because I want to I want to react to this crate as if it just showed up and see, like, what my real first impression is, versus like looking at everything and knowing what's going to be in there, just because I think that it's fun to sort of discover that along the way. What I haven't done, because I didn't have the code, I haven't gone and looked at the magazine to see what else is in there. But I see what I told them is, like, for me, I love having the postcard, because it is really, really great for me to hold up in the video, because I can show, like, ooh, this is what, like, the inspiration is. And so that makes it really easy, versus trying to flip through the magazine and quickly speed read to get up to speed. But I'm also like, what percentage of your people are doing live unboxings on YouTube? So, it's, I was like, what makes things easier for me is not necessarily like something to deal with. But I think that given that the pandemic has thrown wrenches into so many plans and business operations, I think that they have still managed to put out something that is a lot of fun. And so I'm checking to see if there's any questions. Oh, you can see some of the patterning on the socks. Oh, and Stephanie, I'm glad your solar dyes turned out great. But anyway, my link is in the video description, my affiliate link, if you would like to learn more about KnitCrate. One that they've never sent me is they have a Malabrigo partner crate, which looks incredible. It comes out quarterly, and I think it's typically sold out, but there is a waiting list you can get on in case a spot opens up. So I recommend checking that one out as well. But yeah, oh, and again, you can save 20% off your first month with the code ChemKnits20 if you sign up today. So what's today? The 22nd of April. If you sign up today, then you will get the April crate, assuming that there are still slots available. But if you sign up on May 1st, then your first one will be the May crate. So that's typically the way that they've done it. They do have waiting lists. So if one of them sold out, then if a slot opens up, you'll be charged on May 1st. And so it is a subscription, and you can cancel at any time. There even is a gift option where you can give someone 3 months of KnitCrate, which I think is really, really cool. Now, okay, I wanted to, and of course I don't have a pen. Let's see if I can write this down. I don't know how to use an iPad very well, but let's see. 2358. Maybe I'll remember that. Or I should get a pen. Or 20. I want to be able to put a timestamp. Okay, for when I'm going to start talking about May. And at this point, there are spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, maybe, well, I mean, I don't want you to leave. I like you guys hanging out, but, oh, that's a great question. Ask me again in a few minutes about my favorite earth-friendly ways of dyeing yarn. But let's talk about the May 2020 KnitCrate. Now, if you are a current KnitCrate subscriber and you're someone who's not trying to avoid spoilers, so you read all the reveal and sneak peek emails, you might have seen a familiar name and a familiar YouTube channel in the May crate. And that's right, they are going to feature me in the May 2020 KnitCrate. And I am really, really excited. So again, pandemic throws wrenches into a lot of things, but KnitCrate and I are going to turn some lemons into lemonade so you can dye some yarn at home with Kool-Aid. And I am so, so excited about it. So the theme for the May 2020 crate is going to be blank canvas. And all of the crates, the SockCrate and the KnitCrates, are going to have bare yarn. There are going to be a few different yarn bases in the KnitCrate because of, well, there's some stock limitations, but then the crates will also contain some Kool-Aid so that way you can create the colorways at home. And I think that the three combinations, it'll be, I guess I'm not going to say for sure about the colors that are going to be in there. There was some information about colors in the sneak peek, but yeah, I'm not, I don't know for sure. But the other thing is that there are going to be some videos. So I've made a video on, people have been asking for some real introductory videos. That some of my really old videos are very introductory, and I'm working on trying to revamp some of that, but I have a brand new Kool-Aid dyeing video that shows 2 techniques, and I am now wishing that I had brought the yarn downstairs that is upstairs, because then I could show you guys the yarn that I dyed in those videos. But there's going to be a video that KnitCrate's going to put out that I filmed, and I'm going to be in May I'm going to put out multiple Kool-Aid based videos on my channel as well, so that way you guys can see some really fun ways that you can play around with Kool-Aid. One of the perks, so energy is supposed to be, okay, so what the colors are supposed to be, energy is supposed to be cherry and orange, but I'm not sure about the SockCrate. So that's why I don't want to say anything about the number of packets because I'm not 100% sure on what the final numbers are. But for the KnitCrate membership, Energize Me, I think, is going to be cherry and orange. Chill Out, I think, is going to be cherry and grape. And then the neutral one will be grape and orange, which you can mix together and get a brown. Oh, dyeing yarn is so, so much fun. And Kool-Aid, over a decade ago, I got my start dyeing yarn with Kool-Aid. I had a lot of, it was just a 20% wool acrylic blend that was white because I made a fisherman's blanket and I needed to make it not white. So I looked online, I ran to my grocery store and got some Kool-Aid, and then the rest is really history. I did not film those original dyeing adventures, but they are sort of memorialized on my website, ChemKnits.com. I think it was, 2009 when I did this? Yeah, a long time ago. And Kool-Aid is great because you don't need any additional acid. The Kool-Aid packets contain citric acid and the artificial food coloring. So it's the color and the acidity that you need. Now, what do you need to dye yarn with food coloring? There are 4 main components that you need to dye yarn with food coloring. You need your artificial food coloring. So look for something that says it has red 3, red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, blue number 1, maybe blue number 2. Those are all things that I use to dye yarn all the time. You need a protein-based yarn. So wool, alpaca, silk, something that is an animal fiber will work great to dye with food coloring. You need acid, which commonly is either vinegar or citric acid. And then finally, you need heat. And you get different colorways by combining these 4 elements there's unlimited ways that you can do it. There's so many different ways you can layer colors together, and you can create something that is very semi-solid and tonal or very wild and speckled, and it is so much fun, especially because it is a dry powder, so you can speckle with it, and that is really cool. It's one of the best food coloring ways to speckle yarn, and you can get some sharp beautiful speckles. Now the cherry, grape, and orange are all fairly pigmented, so you should get a reasonable color payoff. But if you want colors that are even more pigmented than what KnitCrate showed in the sneak peeks, there's a few things you can do, and you can supplement the Kool-Aid with some drops of liquid or some gel food coloring. If you want a brand recommendation, I use Wilton Colorite food coloring system a lot. It is super pigmented, but I've also used food coloring packets, like liquid food coloring drops I've gotten at the dollar store, or like McCormick's from the supermarket. And so there's really a lot that you can use to supplement if you care to. And if you guys have questions about dyeing yarn with Kool-Aid, ask me now. I will do a Q&A during the May unboxing as well. But I sort of wanted to give a heads up about what you need here now. And oh, the best part is that it's kitchen safe. It's food safe, right? So I'm personally comfortable dyeing yarn with food coloring and Kool-Aid using the same pots and pans that I use to cook with. So you don't need to go and get special equipment. I even filmed the videos without gloves so you could see just how stained my hands get. So you really can, it's super, super beginner friendly. The only warning I give is that dyeing yarn is so much fun that you might want to do more than one project. And here I am, like hundreds and hundreds of videos later. So any Kool-Aid that breaks? That is a great question. I do have a video in Dye Pot Weekly about breaking grape Kool-Aid. There's actually now, I have a Kool-Aid playlist on, if you just go to the main ChemKnits Tutorials YouTube channel page, underneath like recent uploads, then you should see the Kool-Aid playlist, and that is in there. And the grape, I got it to break on non-superwash wool. The problem with Kool-Aid is that as you add more and more packets, you are increasing the acidity in your pot. And the more acidic things are, the less likely you are to be able to see the colors break and to capture that color at the end. So if anyone's curious about what color breaking is, I recommend you go check out some of my Wilton's Violet videos. Color breaking is when you have a mixture of one color, say purple, and then through techniques it sort of splits. Like if you put a drop of food coloring or put a marker on a paper towel and spray it with water and you watch those colors separate and break apart, that's color breaking. And that happens because different food coloring molecules absorb to yarn at different rates and at different acidity and heat levels. So generally the reds absorb first, then the yellows, and then lastly the blues. And so depending on the proportions, you can see dramatic or subtle changes. Have I dip dyed with Kool-Aid yet? So yes, the grape video that I mentioned was a dip dye with Kool-Aid. I also will be, I think on May 1st, on my channel have a dip dye Kool-Aid video to share. In the video that I made for KnitCrate specifically, the techniques that I showed were kettle dyeing on the stovetop, and I also showed a speckling technique and when I set the color in the microwave, because I wanted to give some options. But when talking with KnitCrate about this, like we talked a lot about like what is user friendly and what would be easiest for people who have never dyed yarn before to try out. And yeah, and I'm not sure if this came to be, so this was not the original plan for May, but you know, with the pandemic, their mill, yeah, they weren't able to get the yarn that they had originally designed for May. And so, you know, the Turning Lemons into Lemonade, KnitCrate's sister company is Dyer Supplier. So they have access to some bare yarn. And so, yeah, and then they reached out to me. And I guess the rest, well, is the future because it's all still coming together. But I am so excited. There are going to be a few different yarn bases because I don't think just, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how they're going to split it up. So, but in your crate, you will get 2 skeins of the same one, or in SockCrate, you'll be getting 1 skein, I believe. So you're not going to get 2 different bases in your crate, as far as what I'm aware. you tried RIT powder and did an over dye to get, and you got a dark plum, then added 2 more skeins and it broke and got 2 different shades of purple. Oh, cool. I haven't tried color breaking with RIT powders myself, with the exception of, I think I speckled with it. And so there might have been, there's 2 different ways that I usually talk about breaking. So one is when like you have the liquid mixture and you see the color separate. But then another way is when you have a dry powder and you're speckling with it, if you see multicolored speckles. And that latter one happens because a lot of dye colors are a mixture of a lot of different colors. And so they can, it's not as much as that the colors are separating, but it's just that you see multiple different colors in there. So if you see multiple colors when you're speckling, it doesn't necessarily mean that the colors would break, say with dip dyeing. But I recommend checking out some of my like mystery dip dyeing videos for some really fun, surprising results. Yes, I'm hoping to also do a live stream in May with focused on Kool-Aid and just do a bunch of techniques. And that way I want to be as accessible as I can to answer questions. But the reality of some things is that yeah, the way school is out for the rest of the year, and I have 2 young kids, and so it is a lot harder for me to do a live stream than it used to be. Used to be when the kids were in school, I would start first thing in the morning and I could go until I had to go pick them up. And that was awesome and fun. And I don't have that huge stretch of time anymore. So there might need to be a last minute element to the stream, because it's also not like I can send the kids to, and my husband to like go to the zoo or something, you know, I can't send them someplace else. So that complicates things a bit, but I hopefully the plan is to do a dyeing live stream featuring Kool-Aid to talk about a lot of different techniques and to demonstrate a lot of techniques as well. So you have a question. If you subscribe for the box this month, will you get the next month or will you get April? So if you subscribe today, you should get the April box still. I think even up to the very last day of April, I think the first one you would get is the April one, unless they've changed the way this works, but this is my understanding of it. If you sign up on May 1st, your first one would be the May box. Can you dye with Crystal Light? Probably. I would check to see if there's artificial food coloring, and then yeah, I mean, I've never tried Crystal Light before, I don't think. I think the reason why I haven't tried is in general, Crystal Light was not super pigmented with my recollections, because I used to drink a lot of Crystal Light. And so if the beverage that you mix isn't very pigmented, then you might not see a lot of color in the yarn, but that doesn't mean that you won't get any color. And in fact, the only time I think I've gotten like a pale pink speckle is with Pink Lemonade Kool-Aid. So that's a little bit of fun. One of the limitations of Kool-Aid is there are a limited number of colors. Like there are a lot of reds, a lot of red oranges. There is 1 purple. There are 2 greens that I'm aware of, and 1 to 2 blues. And that's it. Oh, and 1 yellow. There might be a yellow orange, but I've never found that one in person. So yeah, there's those limitations. But as I said, you can supplement with other food coloring. And on this channel, I've dyed with everything from, I've done a lot of Wilton, a lot of various Wilton things, and I've done Gatorade, Hawaiian Punch, Fanta. I think I did a Fanta video once. Candy, sugar sprinkles. I love sprinkles. So I've played with a lot of food coloring sources. The one thing I have not done and will not do is like M&Ms or any coated chocolate. I did jelly beans once and I don't recommend it. It's very waxy. I take risks. That's what I do here, so that way you can learn what you may or may not want to try. So Tang might work. A lot of us would probably enjoy watching a live stream or video of you dyeing with kids. I'm not about to have my children on a live stream yet. I don't entirely trust them to not either have a complete meltdown or divulge personal information that should not be shared. If that makes sense. Like I've let like Lucas briefly like pop into a live stream to say hi, but that's about that's the limit. Yeah, but I do have a whole playlist of videos of dyeing yarn projects I've done with my kids, and they feature Kool-Aid and food coloring. I don't think I've had them do anything with commercial dyes yet. So there is a whole playlist. If you go to the main ChemKnits tutorials YouTube channel and you go to playlists, you might have to click see all, but I have a lot of playlists that divide up a few different techniques, a few different, like there's an Easter egg dye tablet playlist, there's now the Kool-Aid playlist, and there's a dyeing with the ChemKids. And so there are some videos of me with my kids. Let's see. I mean, you know, Lucas will tell like people at the grocery store our address and stuff. Oh yeah, I just don't, you know. Otherwise, I would love to, and he would probably steal the show. Hawaiian Punch. Oh, yes, another big perk of the Kool-Aid packets is that they are sugar-free. So typically, if you wanted to use the Kool-Aid packets for a beverage, you would add sugar or sweetener or something to it. They are currently unsweetened in any kind of way, which is another reason what makes it easy to use. You don't really get something icky sticky. In fact, like I used to use, and I wouldn't even add sugar. I think I used like Sprite as a sweetener, and then and then we added seltzer. We used to make like a Halloween punch using grape and orange Kool-Aid, and then yeah, maybe those with some seltzer and then some liquor, and we'd make this like spooky black, like brownish punch, and that was always fun. Oh, days of my youth. Let's see. If there's a candy flavor you can't stand, don't get it to dye wool with. Yeah. Okay, and so there was a question earlier. So today is Earth Day, and about my favorite like earth-friendly yarn dyeing methods. And that is a good question. So one thing that I do enjoy about food coloring and acid dyes is that the dyes can dye to exhaustion, which means that when you set up your dye pot and you add your color and your yarn, eventually the water is clear. And so that means that when you pour the water down the drain, you're not throwing away or washing away dye particles and stuff. And so that is something that I personally am a big fan of. The thing with natural dyeing, which I enjoy, is that natural dyeing is not necessarily any safer or better for the environment than other types of dyeing, because like aluminum sulfate isn't so bad, but some other mordants that you use for natural dyeing involve heavy metals, and there is like runoff and leftover, and you have to worry about the disposal of those. So I'm honestly not sure what technique I do has the least environmental impact. And it's something that I would definitely be interested in learning more about, I know for sure. But yeah, I guess one reason why I enjoy acid dyes, and is just because I like, you know, it's what you're disposing of is just, you know, citric acid and the vinegar at the end. Oh, yes. And I tend to do my natural dyeing outside. Well, mainly because sometimes it can smell. But yeah, I'm not interested at this stage in trying out other mordants beyond just alum mordants, just because I've got young kids around and we've got the dog, and yeah, that's what's easiest. But I do actually particularly enjoy some natural extracts that don't require any additional mordant. So I'm really excited to do more, like with this year. I hope to use rhubarb leaves as my mordant with other plants that are around. And I think that'll be really fun because it's all stuff that would be composted anyway. And so I think that is really, really cool. And I really enjoy that. But yeah, let me know if you guys have more questions. So I'm expecting that next month I believe it's also going to be a postcard, but there is going to be the Inspirations magazine in a digital form, which I will, yeah, next month's unboxing will be a little interesting because I'm not sure how much of everything I'm going to see in advance. I'm assuming that I will, because like there's some text and stuff that I have to approve, but yeah, it'll probably be like, it'll be fun. So even though I know what's going to be in there, I'm going to be excited. And I mean, I'm always excited, but it's fun to see your name places. But I do, there's many things I like. I like that I can import the Inspirations magazine directly into my Ravelry library. I find that handy. And I like, you know, when they are able to send the magazine, I think it's cool that there's a printed and digital version. So then if you lose your printed one, you can still get the digital one. But I'm not sure entirely what their plans are going forward. I do know that they listen to feedback from all of you who subscribe to KnitCrate, and so who are members. And so it's always worth giving feedback of, especially the things you love. Yeah, I think I wrote them when they did after the January crate with the 2 colors, and I was like, this is awesome. This is what I've been hoping to see for like ages. I do know they typically plan things out like way far in advance, but they listen and try to implement changes. Yeah, so more rhubarb will be fun. Solar dye, yeah, if you want to use less energy for like steam setting and stuff, solar dyeing can be a really great way. You can set the color just using the heat of the sun. Ideally, it should be warm. I personally like to do it on days that are above 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'll leave the yarn outside in a closed container all day. But if it's not that hot out yet, you could honestly probably put something on the dash of your car so it'll heat up a little more. And it's also fun because the colors spread a little differently. And yeah, occasionally with things I solar dye, I still heat set after. Because part of the fun is the way the colors spread since they're striking pretty slowly, but it can depend on a lot of the conditions that you use. Have I done Kool-Aid with solar dyeing yet? I don't think so. I've definitely done food coloring, and I've done a bunch of different acid dye things. So you missed it. I got bare yarn. So this month with KnitCrate, we don't have bare yarn. But the spoiler for May 2020 is that, yeah, they're going to send Kool-Aid and bare yarn out in the KnitCrate so you can create your own colors. And I guess I am going to be the featured. I'm not sure if there's someone featured because the card doesn't say if there's someone featured in the April crate. And I haven't been able, if I had my laptop over here, then I could download the magazine and take a sneak peek. Maybe I'll bring that over a tiny bit. Yeah, I'll grab my laptop in a second and go check. But in January, February, and March, they featured a different like person in like the knitting community and stuff. And so yeah, in May, it's gonna be me. Which the funniest part is, like, I've had like a relationship with KnitCrate and Dyer Supplier for a while. And I think back in January or February, I was like, oh, this is so cool. People asked if I was going to be featured. And I was like, no. Because at the time, I wasn't. It wasn't until like, you know, everything changes with this, right? So it's been like a recent development. And I told them on the phone, I was like, you know, my subscribers are going to say, you said that you weren't going to be featured. And they laughed. They thought that was really cool. It's like, you guys know more about what's coming than all the rest of us, right? So for solar dyeing, I do it in the full sun. Now, I have seen that the sun can fade food coloring dyed yarns, but what I don't know is if like being behind glass or plastic slows that rate. So I did an experiment last summer where I had some yarn, one dry, one wet. I left them out in the sun all day. And I saw faster fading in the one that was wet. But I've done solar dyeing and I got pinks and reds in that yarn and I didn't observe fading through the glass. So I'm not sure is the question about fading. But I usually have everything jammed into a mason jar. And so I do have it in the direct sun to try to get as much heat in as I can. So April features Diana Knits. She designed and knit the knit and crochet garment for April. Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you so much because nope, that's not what I wanted. Oh my gosh. If I had read, because this is why, so I pulled up the full reveal, but I tried not to look at it because I wanted to look at it on screen. Okay, so here is Diana Knits. If I hadn't scrolled down to the yarn, then I would have seen. So they were inspired by a true stitch mastery. Oh my gosh. The stitching on that sweater is beyond gorgeous. Oh, I want that. So she's a true stitch master and always has the best tips and tricks to make any project possible. This month, we are featuring her very own knit and crochet garment patterns, perfect to wear day to night as we transition to spring. You can find her on Facebook and Instagram at Diana Knits, her latest on her free patterns and all things stitches. Oh, that is really, really sweet. Okay, so I was being really, so I was a little critical at the beginning about having like a sweater pattern in here and about size inclusivity because like honestly it's something to worry about like or something to consider, but I think that if they're featuring a specific designer as the like featured like knitting crochet community person for that crate, and you know, if especially if her thing is like sweaters, then it makes sense to have sweater patterns. And so again, here are the two designs. Here's the knit design and the crochet design. I'd like the knit design is actually something that I probably would really like wearing, but I'd have to see. And honestly, I suppose that if you were to sacrifice some length, because I probably wouldn't want it that long. For me, I'd probably want it to hit like more right here. That, yeah, I mean, I don't know. So, you know, the comment still stands, but I think if that garment represents the person that they're featuring, then I think that it makes more sense to me that they would include it. But thank you for that. Maybe wrap the container in dark fabric to help it heat up and prevent fading for solar dyeing. Yeah, that could be a really good idea. But yeah, so Melissa, thank you so much for that info. You guys often have more information than me. And so sometimes I'm like, oh wait, and I'm like, wait, there was an email and they changed the like the percentage off that KnitCrate members get, and you guys had the information and stuff. Because you know, I often don't want to see the colors because I don't want, if I don't see the colors in advance and when I first open the crate and the first thing I see is the color, then I'm not disappointed. But if I knew what colors are there, then you start crossing your fingers for a particular color. That purple though. I mean, this is the pink, which I didn't know that I was going to be on theme today. So I'm excited, but yeah, May should be awesome. May should be so much fun. Yeah, I've the other day so I'd already filmed the video that I was gonna do with KnitCrate. But then I was like, I definitely want to have new like Kool-Aid stuff on the channel. Like the very first, there are two yarn dyeing videos that were the first dyeing videos I ever did. One was with food coloring and one was with Kool-Aid. They are ancient and awkward and I can barely watch them. Maybe I'll do that at some point. Maybe I'll do a watch and try to like recreate. I mean, I could recreate the projects no problem, but maybe I should do a like new and improved shot by shot remake. I don't know. But Yeah, so now I watch them and they're a little cringy, but the information is still good in there. But so yeah, I wanted to have some new Kool-Aid content for the channel. So I filmed, I'll have to get editing and see what the schedule, but the plan is for one to come out on May 1st and then a couple more to come out like over the course of May. And yeah, just to have fun. I'm not sure about the timeline for KnitCrate and stuff, and so yeah, I'm excited. It's fun. Like I don't know. I think it's fun when there are other like companies and people that think that like what you do has like value and is interesting, and so that like I don't know. I'm flattered and happy. So yeah, I mean, I probably have some other old videos that like that I do. I mean, I could just do like although I watched one of them recently. I'm not sure which one it was I watched, but yeah, I could rewatch some of the old ones and react to them. Splicing old content with update. I'm not even sure if I still have the raw files for those old videos. I mean, I probably do somewhere, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, well, I'd have to like go to my Amazon Glacier and try to like, it's probably stored on tapes in some like storage room somewhere. That's like our fire safety like stuff. But I am excited. So to recap April, we had 200 grams, 600 yards of a sport weight, super, super sparkly yarn. And we had this gorgeous, more jewel toned yellow marled sock yarn for the SockCrate. And the extra for the KnitCrate membership this month was a little thing of soak, which is handy. And the SockCrate had this like cool zipper. It's like a felt zipper pouch, which is really cool, and I'm totally going to use. It's sort of the perfect size for like some notions, some little scissors, and maybe some stitch markers. So I'm excited. There was a question if there was any plan for showing what people's results will be. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there is going to be like a hashtag or something. I can certainly ask. I can certainly ask them about that. I did say in the video to tag me and KnitCrate on Instagram with your projects because I know I really want to see all of them, and I'm sure they want to see them too. And I imagine that there will probably be a thread in their Ravelry group as well, where people can share their projects. I have been checking the May reveal. I've been checking the May reveal thread on Ravelry to try to respond to questions. And if you want a sneak peek of some of the yarn that I dyed, I posted pictures of that in the thread. So yeah, there is that. But yeah, I'm really excited, you guys, and I want to thank you all for joining me. I really enjoy these unboxings because it just allows me the opportunity to slow down and chat and interact with you in a way that I can't in my pre-filmed videos. I can try to predict questions I'll get to try to answer them, but it's more fun. I'm like stamping with this pencil. I am really glad to be able to answer your questions, and I do my best to reply to questions when you guys leave comments on videos. There's some that I miss, unfortunately, but I do my best. And so if you've asked a question, if you ask a question and it's like a reply to another comment, I'm less likely to see it than if it's a new comment. You made a squeal when you read the email. Oh, thank you. Oh, so one thing that was really funny was they were sending me the email to just like proof to make sure what they said about me was accurate, but I didn't realize that. I thought it was the email going out. So then in my Facebook group, in the ChemKnits log group, I posted like this winky face, and then I realized it was a preview. I was like, well, that was cryptic. I thought you guys would know what that was about, but apparently you don't yet. But then a couple hours later, then the actual email went out. But so I thought that that was really entertaining. But anyway, if you are new to the ChemKnits Tutorials YouTube channel, thank you so much for watching and checking this out. Please subscribe and make sure your notifications are turned on. A lot of streams and unboxings tend to happen pretty last minute based on, well, when items get delivered, like my Happy Blue packages. And yeah, you don't want to miss any of it because it's a really fun way to engage and get those questions, get me to answer things and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. Beyond some streams, I also publish videos at least twice a week on Tuesday and Friday mornings, usually at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I'm exploring new to me ways to add color to yarn. And so I love to try things out for the first time on camera, even some wild things that aren't really like a typical yarn dyeing thing. And so yeah, you never know. Sometimes the results are really, really cool. And it's like, if you have the things on hand anyway, then why not use it? So one example is dyeing yarn with Jello works. I wouldn't recommend going and buying Jello to dye yarn, but if you have some expired Jello on hand, yeah, why not? But I was really afraid of actually encasing the yarn in Jello when I did that video. I was really nervous. I think that's like really early in the Dye Pot Weekly series too. So you could go check out that old one. But anyway, everyone, thank you so much for joining me tonight. You guys are all the best. And yeah, I'm really, really, really excited to play with Kool-Aid with all of you and to create like so many fun colors and to see what kind of techniques you guys come up with. And ooh, maybe I should challenge you guys to like challenge me to try some certain techniques with Kool-Aid. I'm somewhat limited by the amount of Kool-Aid that I have on hand. Thankfully, I have a bit of a stash of Kool-Aid, but I am somewhat limited in the colors I have, and my ability to go out and get new colors is reduced. So, but yeah, I'll do my best. And I don't know. I'm really excited to. It's like going back to my roots and just sharing something I'm so passionate about, and so. Yeah, I'm happy. But anyway, this has been a very long unboxing stream. Thank you so much for hanging with me for the whole thing. And yeah, I hope that you guys are doing well. Here's your social distanced hug. I look forward to the day when I would be able to give you a hug for real. But I'm glad that I'm still able to like I chat with you guys through the screen anyway, so I'm glad that we still have that. And I hope that you guys, I wish you all health and big deep breaths and hugs, and I will chat with you all soon. Bye, everyone.